Hey, so the Berwick Select Board met last Tuesday, and I am just now getting to cover this meeting. I'm so sorry. It was a long, stressful week last week, but here we are. So I have notes I'm going to refer to. It started with, there was no public comments actually at all during the meeting. Sherry Clement, who, if you don't know her, she's just a doll. She owns Primal Fitness in Berwick. She actually does a lot in Berwick. Very active. Obviously, she owns a gym, but she is seeking to be appointed to the Recreation Commission for the 1-year alternate term. She would be a great addition to the commission. The question here is, she is a North Berwick resident, and some of the boards in our town, you must be a Berwick resident to serve on the board. So the planning board is one, the select board is another. So basically they really seemed all in favor of appointing Sherry, and rightfully so. But they're going to table it until they can further read the ordinance and then also discuss with the rec director, because I guess the rec director didn't make the official suggestion. Then there was the town manager report. So there is a new committee. I believe it's called the Community Resilience Committee, but I'm not positive about the name of it. James seemed pretty excited that it was new people, not the same recycled people serving on committees. As somebody who has been recycled 100 times, it is nice to see new people serving. So with that new committee, they have gotten some funding, about $50,000 in government funding to work on different projects. And those projects are things like community gardens and parks. I believe some of that money is also going to be used. SMPDC, which is Southern Maine Planning and Development, is going to be helping create an open space plan for Berwick. So this is really important because it's been identified that we want to preserve open space in Berwick and limit development in our really rich resource areas. So Southern Maine Planning and Development is going to help Berwick to create an open space plan. They're going to help identify properties to preserve. When they do that, they're going to create a map basically of contiguous lands and high quality properties as far from a conservation standpoint. Once that is done, here's something to keep in mind, especially if you're a landowner. Once that is done, that map is going to be taken into consideration for developing land. So if you are planning on subdividing your land, building, I mean, I'm not talking about like subdivision, although that would count too, but anytime you do any division to your land, it's considered a subdivision. Even if you just split one 40-acre lot into 2 lots, that's a subdivision. So that open space map is going to come into play with subdivisions, and it's just going to help preserve strategic pieces of property. Let's see, cleanup day, it's basically cleanup week, starts on Earth Day. It lasts for a week. There's going to be prizes and games and all kinds of things, and usually that coincides with school vacation week. So it's a great time to get out, help clean up the roads, clean up the walking trails that we have in town. There are 2 seats open for the select board. You have time to get in your paperwork. You have about 2 weeks left to get it in. The 11th of, or maybe it's just a little over a week. Last week you had 2 weeks. April 11th is when it's due. Then the board basically paid their bills. One thing I found interesting was they forgave some debts, including some summer camp fees that went unpaid. And I'm not sure of the exact number of how much of the summer camp fees were forgiven, but there was discussion about, you know, why were they not paid, and should the kids suffer for that and not be allowed to do summer camp again this year, et cetera, et cetera. I'm so sure that a lot of local people would step up to the plate and pay those fees for those kids. So it's just something I wanted to throw out there. Again, I'm not sure of the number for that, but that was it. If you want the details on the bills that were paid, et cetera, go ahead and watch the meeting, but I watched it, so you don't have to.